There you are, sitting at home on a calm summer day, when suddenly there is a knock at your door. You get up, walk to the front of your home, and look through the eye hole to see who it is. But nobody is there. Nervously, you open up the door expecting a visitor, but with no one in sight, you look down at your mat and there it is. An invitation to a party from your dear friend Super Mario. In most cases, this would be an exciting development, but Mario parties like nobody else. This may be the last event that you ever attend. So how likely are you to die if you attended a Mario party? Well, for starters, we're gonna have to set a few ground rules. Rule number 1, you can't be a wallflower. If you show up to the Mario house, you have to play by the Mario rules, meaning you will have to participate in every single minigame and actually try to win. You can't just hide in a corner and hope that things go away. He will know, he will find you. Rule number 2, this is your physical body, so you won't have any random cartoon physics like the other characters do. Meaning if you get smashed by a thwomp, you're not gonna be blowing into your thumb to fill your body back up with air. Rule number 3, we're gonna be using the minigames from Mario Party 1. So none of that blow into the microphone on the Nintendo DS shit. I don't wanna hear it. And of course, rule number 4, no solo minigames. You're here to party, after all. Now let's talk about the rating system. The minigames will get one of 3 ratings. Human friendly, you'll be able to come home to your family relatively unscathed. 100% survival rate may be something you want to do in real life. Beneath that, there is very unsafe. You'll survive, but not in the shape that you're in now. I don't really gotta go into that one, but basically a 50% or lower survival rate. And the final tier, death, which means death. Of the 50 minigames available, a few of them aren't going to be judged because they're literally impossible. I'm not gonna transmute you into a boxcar, okay? What do I look like, a genie? And now we can finally dive into the minigames themselves. First up, we got treasure divers. All you gotta do is swim to the bottom of this ocean bed, pick up a treasure chest, and swim back to the top. This is a feat that would most likely be impossible because gold is heavy as shit. A cubic foot of gold weighs over 1,000 pounds? Meaning even if you go for the smaller treasure chests that are on the side, you still won't be able to carry these to the top. This appears to be a tiger shark, which is stalking the upper half of this minigame, and tiger sharks are actually responsible for a large portion of fatal shark bites in human attacks. Still, sharks are relatively docile in most cases. Unfortunately though, bloopers are not. They go out of their way to harm Mario characters and humans any chance they get. Hell, they're so evil that even their babies want you dead. Matt Pat from Game Theory once surmised that Mario was exactly 6 feet tall, meaning these bloopers are around 3 feet or 91 centimeters, which is more than enough to wrap you up and send you to a watery grave.
Hello, how are you? I am under the water.
Putting this one in very unsafe. Next up, we have buried treasure, where you have to dig deep into the earth in order to find a treasure chest before everyone else. Oh god, Donkey Kong, move! Move, you literal gorilla! At first glance, this one seems kind of fatal, but it's actually kind of safe. Since 2 of the 4 characters are coming from the bottom of the screen, this isn't actually straight into the earth as you would initially expect. It almost seems like we're getting a bird's eye view of a sandbox where every player is rapidly just moving colored sand out of the way in order to find the one piece of treasure in the whole area. I don't think any human on this planet would be strong enough to keep up with the other characters, but still, besides a ripped fingernail and possibly a pulled shoulder, this minigame is relatively safe. Next, we got Hot Ba-Bomb, which is basically playing hot potato, except it's a big fucking explosive.
It's the wild musical tater tossing game.
That's gonna be a death. Sure, it only blows up on 1 person, but do you see how big that bomb is? The shrapnel from this bad boy alone will shred you like some good mozzarella. Musical Mushroom is just a round of musical chairs. Unless you're an absolute klutz and fall off the big mushroom directly onto your C1 to C7 vertebrae, this is human friendly. Crazy Cutter is kind of a confusing one because realistically, you're probably not gonna die here. I did some research, and though there are a decent amount of documented jackhammer related injuries, there have only been 3 fatal accidents reported by OSHA in the last 24 years, 2 of which were caused by striking a power line and getting shocked, and one of them was a fall which turned out to be fatal. Still, there are a lot of jackhammer related injuries and, believe it or not, amputations reported by OSHA, and last time I checked, most of us don't have a jackhammer license. So unsafe it is. Moving on. Balloon Burst is a pretty straightforward game where all you have to do is blow up a balloon faster than everyone else. I'm actually kind of popping off. Wait a minute. Never mind. Wario. I've been slapped by the rubber of an exploding big balloon before, and it does sting a little bit, but besides that, this one is clearly human friendly. Coin Block Blitz is a game where you have to run around and collect coins by hitting a cement block. I would do this tomorrow. It's definitely human safe, just use your hands if you don't want to develop CTE by headbutting literal stone. Skateboard Scamper is a minigame where you have to skate through an obstacle course faster than your opponents. Now, any skateboarder on Earth knows that skating across gigantic cracks is a nightmare. But you're also inside of an active volcano, which some would argue is a little bit worse. Being this close to lava, the temperature would range anywhere between 700 to 1600 degrees Celsius, meaning the family is gonna have to take you home in a dustpan. That's death. Box Mountain Mayhem is human safe. You break boxes for coins, easy enough. But this next one is kind of strange. Platform Peril is a sky stage where you have to jump over massive gaps to get to the end of an obstacle course. As someone who did parkour for a pretty big portion of his life, jumping over 6-foot to 8-foot gaps consistently may sound pretty easy at first. But paired with the fact that you are so high you can look down and see clouds, chances are even people with experience might make a fatal error. There are 16 leaps total in this course of death, which is a pretty tall ask for most people who don't do cardio regularly. But even if you do take cardio somewhat seriously, the altitude sickness and thinner oxygen will gas out just about anyone. Gonna have to put this one in death with the asterisk of unless you are an Olympian level track and field star that trains at 30,000 feet above sea level. Or Goku. I guess Goku would do this too. Next up, we got Mushroom Mixup, which is basically Simon Says, but you have to scramble to get to the right platform. This seems survivable at first, but there are 3 other Mario characters doing what they can to knock you off and slow you down. To make matters worse, if you fall into the water below, a bloodthirsty blooper will grab you and drag you all the way to hell itself.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
I'm gonna have to put this one in death. Next, we have Grab Bag, where you just have to grab money from other players. And this is not only human safe, but also sounds like it would be a great drinking game to play with friends in real life. I feel like I have to try this. Bumper Balls is a Mario Party crowd favorite, where you have to bump your opponents off of an island while balancing on a ball. Balancing on a ball is already pretty difficult, but not as difficult as surviving those hell-dragging bloopers. That's death. Tipsy Turvy is about dragging a shell around a moving platform in order to uncover the picture underneath. You may fall on your ass once or twice, but besides that, this is human safe, and looks like something a McDonald's play place would have had in like the 1980s. The next game we got is Bombs Away, and just look at this, man. Like, that's obviously a death. Hey, we had nothing to do. We're gonna go stand on an island, and we're gonna have my friend in a pirate ship. He has 4 cannons. He's gonna launch cannons at us on the island, and we're gonna try to stay on the island while we are getting hit by cannons. That's what we're doing this Saturday. Next up, we got Mario Bandstand, which is human safe as long as you're immune to embarrassment. Because they sound like trash, boy.
Not quite my tempo.
Shy Guy Says is another Simon Says-like minigame, where failure results in you being cut from the boat and left to float in the middle of the ocean in a barrel all by yourself. Being lost at sea is kind of a crapshoot. Some studies suggest that your chances of survival are pretty high if it's reported the day that you went missing. There are some seagulls in the air, which can suggest that you're not too far from land, but floating in just a barrel gives you significantly less time than an actual flotation device. So I guess I'm gonna put this in death with a few question marks to signify the ambiguity of it all. The next 2 games are Castaway and Keep Away. Both of them are human safe. One of them, you just fish. The other one, you get touched by some spiky toys, which may be annoying, but whatever. Running of the bulb is kind of interesting. Sure, there are thwomps that will change your state of matter.
Oh no!
But they're easily avoidable. The boos in this stage possess you and try to make you, Alt F4 yourself, but since it's a co-op experience, your allies can snap you out of it. I want to say that this one is human safe, but I also have to add the asterisk that it may in fact give some form of PTSD, which is a lot better than death or grave injury, but sometimes the damage is on the inside. You know, night terrors. Hot Rope Hop is another Mario Party crowd favorite. It's basically jump rope, except the jump rope is made out of a fire so hot that it'll send your ass flying about 40 yards. Though I don't think the 4th degree burns will be fatal, you will definitely need to see a medical professional, so I'll put it in very unsafe. Next up, we have Hammer Drop, where you have to catch coins being thrown at you from a hammer bro on a cloud. But this fucking jerk also randomly throws a hammer, which is mean and kind of uncalled for, bud. What is your issue, man? Getting hit by the hammer won't 100% kill you, but it definitely will dock your IQ by about 40 points. Definitely unsafe, but probably not fatal. Sled Run is a complicated subject. I mean, people bobsled in real life, and they turn out to be okay most of the time. I don't know if anyone has actually died from bobsledding in real life, so if someone has died in bobsledding, just put it on the screen right here. And if they haven't, then it just kind of looks like I'm casting spells, huh? Though bobsledders seem to be okay most of the time, they are trained, while all of us are not. Except for you, Isaiah. The reason why this unsafe minigame errs on the brink of death is because there are portions of the map that you can just fall off the course from. Sure, you get saved, but if Clayton from Tarzan taught us anything, stopping that momentum that fast may give you a faster exit. Still, this is a 2v2 game, and if you're lucky, the Mario companion you have with you will be able to keep you guys alive. So I guess I'll put it in very unsafe, but we'll capitalize the word very. Desert Dash has gotta be the most nervous any of these mini games would make anyone. Because it's a very basic race, but if you and your partner press the wrong button, you get smashed by a thwomp. Which is very much a Danganronpa style execution. Like, I think if you make it past the thwomp, it's a safe minigame, but I would personally die of a heart attack before I even got there. So I'm gonna just have to put this one in death. Bomb Skit Ball sounds like it may be dangerous, but realistically, the bomb only blows up after you deliver it to the wall. So just pass it to your friend, stand as far as you can, and pray. I don't want to say that it's human safe, but it's definitely not lethal as long as you're not trying to make a dunking highlight. Because if you do, they're gonna have to put your medal on a piece of femur. So I'll put it in unsafe. Handcar Havoc is death, because that's lava, duh. And Deep Sea Divers is basically the same as Buried Treasure, but with no bloopers or sharks. So it's safe as long as you can swim. I can't, but you might be able to. Bash and Cash is safe. These are very clearly plastic hammers. Piranhas Pursuit is genuinely terrifying. You're running away from a bloodthirsty, man-eating monster plant on a skateboard while trees crumble on your route. And you have to ollie over rocks that are more than 6 feet tall. Yeah, fucking right. Even a prime Paul Rodriguez wouldn't be able to do this one. Hope you're into Vor, champ, because that's a wrap. Death. Tug-o-war is death simply because the loser will fall into the piranha plant below. And since you're limited to your not superhuman, not Mario strength, you'll fail this no matter which side you're on. Paddle Battle has always made me laugh as a kid because it's about paddling faster than your opponents and smashing them into the wall on their side. But instead of them just taking damage from the impact, a fucking Shy Guy shows up and stabs them with a spear, which isn't necessarily fatal the first time. But if you're not strong enough to keep up with the dinosaur, incredibly jacked Italians, or literal gorilla, you're gonna be stabbed repeatedly. So that's gonna be a death. Next up, we got Coin Shower Flower, where one player has to grab as much money as they can, while the others below try to collect the coins missed. This one is safe. Even if you do fall, there's land on both sides of this moat, so you'll be okay. Just doggy paddle for a little bit. Coin Block Battle is a funny one because I want to say that it's safe if you luck out and get the hammer, even though you're definitely not going to be able to swing that bad boy around. But even if you don't get the hammer, do you see how slow they are? Just play it safe, or don't. I'm not your dad. So, human safe, I guess. Tightrope Treachery? Do you guys... What the fuck? That one's death. Now for the results. Out of the 35 minigames that we judged, 13 of them led to certain death. 4 of them were very unsafe and almost guaranteed life-changing injury. And believe it or not, 18 of them were for the most part survivable. Meaning there is about a 48.5% chance when visiting a Mario Party that you will die on the first game chosen. Since the lowest number of minigames played at a single Mario Party is 10, the probability of landing on a safe game 10 times in a row is about 0.13%. But you could look at the bright side. At least your parents aren't gonna have to pay for a funeral, because in most of these games, they probably won't find enough of you to even have one. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know in the comment section and we'll do more. There's a lot more Mario Party games to peruse, and I'd love to make another one because this was kind of fun. Here's a link to my second channel where I'm supposed to be uploading more than I upload on this one. Also, I've been recording a lot of this footage live over on this link right here, but I kind of want to ask you guys in the comment section, should I stream on YouTube as well, or should I just keep it all over there? I'm not entirely sure which to do, but if you guys are into YouTube streaming, I guess I could do both. Just let me know how you feel in the comment section below. I think that's all I gotta say. Until the next video, adios.